So Trump is again threatening Rosie O'Donnell, and he's losing in every way you can lose. But that's not what this is all about.
Well, he is a cruel, criminal, and mentally unstable man. And Duty to Warn was a book that came out when he was first in office. Psychiatrists across the country who don't ever really diagnose people that they don't serve personally came together and made a book, Duty to Warn, to tell the world what a narcissistic, mentally ill person he is. And I think he's the worst thing that ever happened to the United States, and his cruelty knows no bounds. And when he is upset and humiliated and embarrassed, he has no control, and he goes apeshit. Can I say that? And, he is the kind of person that is a grifter.
Rosie has had his number for more than 2 decades. I mean, she's a comic with years of experience dealing with drunks and hecklers. So Trump, she's not worried about a cognitively declining malignant sociopath.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
So that's how Trump works. He's calling Rosie fat. I mean, she's a comedian and he's the president, but she can speak to policy and governmental issues with greater clarity and passion than crybaby in chief.
They had what?
So now Tiny Fingers is saying he might revoke Rosie's citizenship. You see, she recently moved to Ireland, not because she's afraid of man-titties, but to protect her children. But she is still more of a patriot abroad than Tiny Fingers will ever be.
Hold, please. And what a horror story in Texas. The flash floods in Texas. Children at a camp. And when the president guts all of the early warning systems and the weathering forecast abilities of the government, these are the results that we're going to start to see on a daily basis, because he's put this country in so much danger by his horrible, horrible decisions and this ridiculously immoral bill that he just signed into law. As Republicans cheered, people will die as a result, and they've started already. Shame on him. Shame on every GOP sycophant who's listening and following the disastrous decisions of this mentally incapacitated POTUS.
Dude, every word she said there is backed up by science, think tanks, and experienced experts. But of course, Trump simply doesn't care.
I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
So Trump freaked out and went after O'Donnell by threatening her citizenship. Because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interest of our great country, I'm giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. She is a threat to humanity and should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland, if they want her. God bless America. Threat to humanity? I wonder if you assembled the world leaders and asked them who was a bigger threat to the world. Would it be the actor-comedian living in Ireland, or the man who randomly bombed Iran, missing the targets he claimed to have hit?
Current and former Pentagon officials think the program was likely set back by 1 to 2 years, but no one knows where the highly enriched uranium actually is. 900 pounds of it, enough for 9 nuclear bombs. It could have been moved or could be buried, we're told.
Oh, he doesn't like that. But can Trump really revoke her citizenship? No. The president cannot revoke someone's citizenship. Rosie was born here, as were her parents. But that's not what it's about. This is what it's about. Trump will say anything these days because he's trying to disrupt us from the Epstein files.
Schedule a massage with an underage sex slave, and then you'll believe anything.
You see, Rosie O'Donnell has been in Trump's head for a long time, and Trump can't handle it. Ironically, the man with orange makeup and adult diapers has used many different platforms to attack her, and not on any substantive grounds, but simply because of her weight, which, considering man-titty's condition, is what you might call ironic.
O'Donnell's disgusting. You take a look at her, she's a slob. We're all a little chubby, but Rosie's just worse than most of us. She doesn't tell the facts. As an example, I'm worth many billions of dollars. Now, she said I was bankrupt. I never went bankrupt, so probably I'll sue her because it would be fun. I'd like to take some money out of her fat ass pocket.
By the way, Trump has 6 bankruptcies. Look it up. But let's go back to that debate in 2016 with Megyn Kelly hosting. For the record, she is a pathetic troll who knows the truth about Trump but still supports him.
Trump is a sexual predator.
She's talking to Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy turned Trumper, about this exchange.
And disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
You've written about that famous question and exchange that he and I had at that August 6th, 2015, very first GOP presidential debate. It was 8 years ago now. The whole nation was watching. It was the first. It was exciting. And he and I sparred over, what was definitely a tough question about things he'd said about women. And he interrupted it with only Rosie O'Donnell. And the crowd laughed. And you analyzed that in a way that made so much sense. Can you do that here?
First of all, I'm just realizing how much you changed my life with that question, because the entire direction of my life changed in that moment. When he said the Rosie O'Donnell line, I actually stood up and walked toward the TV, and I said, I don't know what's happening here, but this is big.
You're the guy who saw it. You saw his abilities before anybody else saw them. And it's just listening to you, it's so clear why you saw it. He's got this crazy, great power of communicating, and it's no accident you were able to identify it as somebody who's got it and understands it yourself. And honestly, it's what he does. I remember, Scott, I had him on, we had that debate, which you and I can talk about. I know you've written about it. And then 9 months later, I went to Trump Tower and I asked him to knock off the nonsense. And he did immediately. And I said, well, can we sit together and just sort of have it was kind of like a makeup interview. So he said yes, and we did. And it did fine. They aired it on Fox broadcast, but we were across from some series finale of Survivor, something like that. So the ratings weren't what we hoped they would be, but they were okay. So I talked to Trump the next day, of course, and he's like, the ratings were amazing. We killed everybody. And I'm like, yeah. That's what he does every time. It doesn't actually have to be linked in reality.
Okay, you heard that, right? She's laughing at that line. He has no link to reality, and her and this twat think Trump's talent for vulgarity and grift is to be admired? Really? You want the mentally ill rapist?
Trump is a sexual predator.
The guy who will stab you in the back to lead the nation? See, this is what steers the ship that is MAGA. The idea that it's big and can float. But where is it headed? Iceberg, right ahead! Rosie O'Donnell is a sweet person. I've done TV with her. She was kind and supportive. She left the U.S. not to run from Trump, but to protect innocent children. But what's really happening here, like Megyn Kelly said, he has no link to reality, and that's what he's attempting to sever here. The evidence is clear. Trump attended at least 7 parties at Epstein Island where a 13-year-old girl said Trump attacked her. His long relationship with Epstein is well documented.
So the connection between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein isn't new news. Trump admitted he knew Epstein for 15 years, even stating that Epstein, quote, likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. In 2021, as part of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, it was revealed that Donald Trump lied about riding on Epstein's plane. He actually flew on it 7 times.
And Trump's Pam Blondie and Propaganda Barbie were caught in a lie.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now.
And this just broke. The White House released security footage of the entrance to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. The footage was supposed to kill the rumors that someone had killed Epstein. Metadata proves, however, there's a problem. Someone manipulated the tape. Now Patel and Bongino are on the verge of quitting, and the real test for MAGA is clear. How far will you go?
You know what? So what if he wants to grab pussy? I want to grab pussy.
Look, if you somehow still support Trump after his sexual assaults, his convictions, his attack on brown citizens and hardworking undocumented, or his pedo mischief and his pedo boyfriends, look, you have the problem, but it ain't Rosie O'Donnell.
Goddamn right.
Do you have no shame?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Do you have no shame?
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donald.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.